Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars The Twilight Nights, Episode 5. I am John, I'm your Game Master for the evening, and I'm joined today by Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Crack Tulpa, the artisan, Sentinel artisan.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing Kata Hub, who is a Wookiee mystic.
And
Don't
Jack.
forget to roll Destiny.
Oh yes, everybody roll Destiny. Hang on, let me clear Destiny.
Well, we need
first.
to. I think we need to
Sorry,
clear.
I'm
it
used
first,
to being
but-
prompted for that.
While
Nope,
that's
fair.
happening, hi everybody. My name is Jack. I am playing Graztatha. I am who is a Wookiee Xi'an expert, or
Yes.
at least working on it.
Craig, Aaron, and
And-
Jack roll Destiny.
Okay.
Sorry, I was distracted by the fact that, so for those that don't use it regularly, Open Office is a very good, cheap, free
Hey,
alternative
Graz got a dark side.
to Microsoft Office. However,
It is.
occasionally it will not close when you close it, which means when you try to open it, a new instance will open up in the background, but the document that you want won't open. So as I'm trying to open up the thing that has my opening monologue on it, nothing happens because an instance of Open Office is already open in the background, but it's not actually open. So I have to go into Task Manager, close all the instances that are open but not actually open, and then try to open it again.
Sounds legit.
Anyways, so we have one light side from Kitty, one dark side from Graz, one dark side from Crack, and also Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Nerese, droid healer, and the rolling Destiny. I got a dark side.
And Lichbot.
Holly.
Yes, and Lichbot.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Avasia. She is a pureblood Sith duo berserker. And I will roll some Destiny.
Ooh, Avasia got two light sides.
like a truck berserker.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I am playing Corsarath, the Sith pureblood Makashi duelist, and I will also roll Destiny and get 2 more light side.
Yes.
Wow, your Darksiders are giving you the light side Destiny.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Eliana, a Death Marian, mystic person. And I got a dark.
So you end up with 5 light and 4 dark, mostly because of Avasia and Corsarath, which is kind of fun. Anyways, Episode 5. So, Star Wars The Twilight Nights, Episode 5. Darkness Rises. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The year is 3643 BBY, or before the Battle of Yavin, 10 years after the Treaty of Coruscant was signed. On Droman Kos, dark powers surge in preparation for all-out war. As the ceasefire between the Sith and the Republic is continually tested by sworn-off skirmishes and acts of rebellion, the Dark Council plots amongst itself, consolidating power for themselves and plotting the downfall of the Republic. Already plans are in motion, as Darth Scotia is assassinated in secret and replaced by Darth Zash, and Darth Jadis dies in an apparently successful strike by terrorist leader the Eagle. Meanwhile, on Eos, the young Twilight Squires come face to face with dark powers. The apparent local fauna harness the dark side of the Force to raise undead minions. Their long night has only just begun, and it seems, at night, the dark side reigns supreme. And that's something that you have all noticed. As you're in the middle of this battle, there's just sort of a bit of a moment as you take sort of take awareness of your surroundings. That ever-present, for some of you suffocating, for some of you enlightening, feel of the light side of the Force that had been there during the day, you realize now, as your senses are heightened from combat, has been replaced with this cloying, sickly, bitter feel of the dark side of the Force. It seems that at night, on Eos, the dark side reigns dominant. And we're still in initiative. It's currently the NPC's turn. So, and actually we're going to be adding in a new initiative order for NPCs as these 3 undead creatures rise from the ground by one of the Eosians that's near you. Well, it's near Crack and Kitty at the moment.
Did we switch back from the battlefield to the ship for some reason?
You were never on the battlefield. You were on a battlefield for other battles, not this one.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a battle map this round.
For some reason, I conflated those 2 fights in my head.
That's all right.
And I'm trying to remember where everyone was. I think I had gone over to Avasia, I want to say. Or
So,
Corsorath,
yeah,
one of
so
them.
I think we're near
Corsorath, Avasia, and Neres are near the one Eosian that had 2 blasters.
Yep.
Graz and Ilyana are fighting the other Eosian that had the Vibroaxe.
Mhm.
Yep.
And Crack and Kitty have ran off against the one that was raising undead minions.
Yep. Thank you. Want to remember where
There, this means 3, because only 3 of them got made by the time you interrupted the casting.
Job there.
Yeah. Oh. That's. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Wyatt. There we go. Okay. But it is the first NPC slot, and these three undead creatures, as they claw themselves out of the ground, rush towards Crack. As they move into position, these 3 creatures begin to claw.
Okay.
Difficulty
Super good.
2. They're in engaged range. Flat roll. They'd miss.
Damn.
That's interesting. They got an advantage and 2 successes, and then a threat and 2 failures on the same die. Like 2 failures on one die, 2 successes on one die. So these 3 undead creatures that look to you like sort of like they might have at one time been these same kind of creatures, these 4-armed, vaguely simian creatures, just rush and lunge at you and sort of latch onto your arms and legs and start trying to claw at you, but you're able to mostly break free of their grasp and not take any damage.
Okay.
Another NPC slot. The heavily injured one that is still fighting. Oh no, that one hasn't been injured at all. The heavily injured one that's fighting Corsorath and Avasia is going to go, and it is going to try to hit Corsorath again. Yeah, because there's the heavily injured one that Corsorath and Avasia are fighting. The one that's fighting Graz and Ilyana has basically been untouched. Oh, wait, no, it can't go because it got sudden jolt, which means it can only go against the last initiative slot on this turn. That's right, because Avasia crit it. So the one fighting Graz is going to go instead. Graz. Why has all the stats of this character sheet gone away?
Because Graz is just that fucking awesome.
Wow. For some reason, the character sheet that I was using for these creatures is completely blank.
Make sure you haven't toggled between character and NPC.
They're dead.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. That is exactly what I did.
I
went
did
to the
that
character
a
sheet.
lot. I just did that earlier today.
I went to the character sheet. That's what happened. All right, never mind. 2 difficulty. I'm not upgrading their attack with this one.
So
Darn,
I
was
would
gonna
like to
say-
call the first slot right now because I need to kill this heavily injured one before it gets to try and hit me.
Well, this one's attacking Graz real quick, but yeah, you can. That discussion.
But yeah, no, first PC slot, go for it. Yeah, Graz is cool with that.
All right, Graz, a success. So that's going to be 6 damage, pierce 2.
All right.
As it
Pierce
once
2
again-
means it bypasses 2 of my soak, right?
Correct. Your soak is
All
considered
right, so
2
that
less.
is okay. Do. So I take some wounds.
And it is now the first PC slot, so which William has claimed.
Yes.
For course.
Because I need to kill this thing before it gets to go.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to use my maneuver to aim,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to flip a light side on this attack.
All right. So you get to add a boost die and upgrade, and this is difficulty 2 upgraded once.
Yes. Let me make sure, because I believe I am engaged with only one opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So I also add my duelist training boost die.
There you go.
So. Wow. Wait, no, I didn't upgrade that.
Wow.
Oh,
I did not upgrade that real quick.
Yeah, you need to upgrade the difficulty.
I also didn't upgrade my roll. That's correct, because you got adversary.
Yep. You didn't.
That's better.
You didn't add either
That is
upgrade,
better.
but this time you did. All right. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Make
with
it
that
harder,
triumph?
roll better.
Make it more difficult, roll a better roll, yeah.
You can't crit because your training saber doesn't crit. But
Yeah.
what would you like to do with that triumph?
Let's see. Advantages in combat. I have 3 advantages and a triumph. I would like to recover. How much strain do I have? I would like to recover 4 strain with those 4 things
You can do that.
because I have 5 strain.
You recover 4 strain. How much damage is that? 7 damage. It's soak. Yep. All right. Yeah, and you jab into the face of this thing and sort of shove the lightsaber into its open mouth as far as it'll go, and it just collapses backwards to the ground. It is gone, which means another NPC slot is gone. And it's now the third NPC slot. So the one that's over by, the one that is over the other Eosian that is over by the 2 with the zombies is going to whip out a blaster pistol and shoot Crack. It's in short range, which means this is difficulty 1. Fire. So Crack, that is going to be 8 damage coming at you
Okay.
from a blaster pistol.
Mm-hmm. Not a problem. Okay.
If you have any reflect skills or things you'd like to employ, now would be the time.
Crack is not what you might call a combat character, so no. He does soak a lot of that, but
So get shot.
just straight soak.
All right, and
Ow!
that makes it a PC slot.
Everybody but me brought a blaster to the fight.
That's
I
a
mean, I
parody.
didn't.
He's not talking about our side.
Oh.
Graz will go
Well,
next
who's-
if nobody
Yeah,
else is.
I actually.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was gonna say I would like to go next, but I think the zombies and the necromancer guy have already gone, so
Yeah.
it would make sense for him to go later.
Okay. Yeah, Graz is going to desperately attempt to center themselves and switch to something. They pull out their training saber and try and aim a strike at this individual.
So it's a maneuver to pull out your training saber.
Okay.
So you're gonna take strain to take another maneuver to aim.
Yeah, I think they will try and do that.
You take 2 strain to aim,
Okay.
which gives you a boost die.
Which gives Graz a boost die. They are my opponent does have adversary, right?
Yes, so it's upgraded once.
Okay. It's upgraded once. Well, I actually make contact.
You hit. What would you like to use those advantages for?
Let me see if there's anything special or honestly, they are just going to recover all of their strain.
You do
since
that.
They currently have 4.
So you jab into this one with the training saber, and it sparks and lights off of their shoulder as you hit them on the shoulder, and it sort of reels back a little bit, but prepares to come at you again.
Look at all that strain gone. You centered yourself.
I did.
Another PC slot.
Sure. So the one that I was that course Wrath and I were on is gone.
The one that Korsroth and Vasias were on. You were fighting the one that Graz is still fighting.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was you and Graz and Korsroth and Vasias.
And correct me if I'm wrong in terms of how the fight has gone this far. I have tried to use my whip twice in this fight, and it hasn't worked. Correct?
3 times, and correct.
3 times?
None of them have worked.
So, yeah, going to she just drops the whip and pulls out her vibro knife and just screams and starts stabbing.
All right, make me an attack roll. You're in engaged range, so it's 2 difficulty, and they have adversary 1, so it's upgraded once.
It's upgraded by 1. Can't wait to screw this one up.
Would you like to flip a light side, perhaps? And it's a maneuver to pull out your vibro knife.
Correct.
Would you like to also take a second maneuver to aim?
I have 9 strain out of 11 possible,
so no.
Perhaps not.
I would say I would avoid that.
So that's a no then. Got it.
So yeah, it's upgraded difficulty 2. You know what? Sure, we don't need light side points, right?
No, not for anything.
Cool.
3 and 6.
And that is an upgrade of 1 there, and then I go to the.
Is the vibro knife the one that Avasia summons?
Yeah.
No, it's the one that Ilyana summons.
Ilyana. I'm sorry. I said the wrong character name.
You said Avasia, and then a second ago you said Ilyaman too. It's like.
I do also appreciate that all of us almost nodded as that sounds right. Wait, no.
I do like the idea that secretly Ilyana is not summoning anything. Avasia is just like slipping it to her every single time.
But here's a knife. Go.
Even better if Ilyana doesn't know that. Avasia is just like, oh man, the one time that I don't do it.
It's
you're
impressive
gonna hate
that you
it.
managed to get this many flat rolls, Jeremy.
Right?
Oh god.
Because
Right?
that's the thing. It hasn't just been that you've been failing to hit.
It's
Of
that
your
they're
3
all
whip
flat
Yeah,
rolls.
of your 3 whip attacks, 2 of them were flat rolls.
Yes, I know.
And so is this one. As you come in with the vibro knife, and one free arm of the Eosian just bats your wrist away.
I like the idea that it was a screaming, running, and stabbing, and just like full on like palm,
Face
like
palm.
holding
Right.
it arm's length of like the guy who.
They have
Yeah,
4
exactly.
arms. Yeah, just one of them just turned to.
Yeah, it's just like 3 arms are focused on Graz. The 4th is just holding you at bay.
Flashback to Avasia, like maybe we or God damn it, I did it again. To Ilyana going, maybe we should let them take the weakest of us all. And she's like,
I have a question.
There are many ways to show strength.
Yes, Mara.
Healing trance, does
Mhm.
that can I only do that on myself?
I believe you can only do that on yourself, correct?
Okay. All right. Never mind.
It is another PC slot's turn. So Korsarath, Graz, and Ilyana have gone.
Avazia will go ahead and go.
All right.
If that's
Go
all
for
right.
it.
How far away from me is the one that's summoning the undead?
It's at long range.
Okay. Can I use a strain to get over there?
You can only use 2 maneuvers in a round. So if you use your action maneuver and your regular maneuver, you can move 2 range bands closer, which would get you into short range.
Okay, I will do that then.
But you don't have to. You can't use a third maneuver, so you wouldn't need to do the strain.
Okay.
All right. And Neri's, Kitty, and Crack.
I'm getting the crap beat out of me. I would like to attack, please.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Crack.
The 2 zombies are right up in my face, right?
3 zombies, yes.
3 zombies. Okay. I would like to attack them with both of my with the wrench and the Hydra's banner that I have.
Okay. So are you trying to do 2 weapon fighting?
Yeah, so I'm going to raise the difficulty by 1. Do they have adversary?
They do not have adversary, no.
Okay, so it'll be at 3 difficulty.
You raise difficulty by 1 and it has the linked 1 property.
Yeah. So I am going to flip the light side for this.
Right.
And just do a truncheon attack. Come on, truncheon. I don't know if that rolled. I'm gonna click it again. Apologies if it then does 2 in a row. It is not doing anything.
Hang on.
Oh,
there it goes.
Nope, there they go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going with the first one.
Oh no, because the first one I hadn't upgraded.
Oh, you hadn't upgraded. Well, there you go. We'll go to the second one then. That's 2 hits. So you successfully hit with the first one. You don't get any advantages to fire off the linked quality though.
Yeah.
So you do 6 damage. So you crack one of them upside the head, and it just collapses to the ground.
Okay. Crack will shout out, still surrounded, and that one has a blaster.
All right. Kitty and Nereus.
I'll go.
Yeah.
All right, Kitty.
So I'm within short range of the
Necromancer, yes.
summoner. Yeah.
Hmm?
I'm gonna go into engaged range
Okay.
and use that knife I took from the guy.
All right. Go ahead and make the attack. So it is in... It should automatically add the extra difficulty for the attack.
So he's diff 2 to hit. Does he have adversary?
Diff 2, adversary 1. Yep.
Okay. 2 successes and a threat.
All right. You stab him. That's 4 damage. You just... Here's 2. Yeah, no.
The hope is if I kill this guy, Crack will be okay.
All right. And Nereus.
It's okay if he's not, though.
So,
Thank you, Kitty. I appreciate it.
I'm trying to help my science friend.
I know.
right.
Graz and Ilyana
Go Team Science.
Are either of you heavily injured? I don't remember.
You've already healed Graz once. And
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I can't do that again, right?
Not in combat, no.
Yeah.
Not in combat. Yep.
How about Ilyana?
It's taken a decent amount of strain, yes.
Strain. Okay.
Not physical. I think I have taken a little physical damage. Hold on, let me look and see. No, I have not. I've only taken strain.
Only strain. God,
It's fine. I'm good.
All right. I'm gonna.
Jeremy says the thing that always drives Aaron nuts. I'm fine. I'm good.
I'm gonna. I don't like that guy. So I am going to. You said we're at long range, so it'd be
So you're at long range from the Necromancer and medium range from the one that's fighting Graz and Ilyana right now.
Okay. So it would be a 1 maneuver and then 1 strain to take a second maneuver to get into short range.
1 maneuver, 2 strain. Yeah.
1 maneuver. Okay. I will do that because I don't have that much strain. And I'm gonna fire at the Necromancer. And
Right.
I've done 2 maneuvers, so I can't do
You can't do an aim, correct?
Yep.
So you are in short range, which means difficulty 1.
Yep.
He has
Okay.
adversary 1, so it's upgraded once.
Okay. So difficulty 1, upgrade 1. There. Do-do-do. Where is that weapon? Is there? Okay. Hey, that's a success and 2 advantages. So I'm trying to remember what advantages do. Oh, here we go.
You can spend them to recover strain, or there's a table in there as well.
I'm gonna do a boost to crack.
All right. Crack
That
gets a
seems like
boost
a
die
good
on his
idea.
next attack.
Yep.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. You fire. You hit. Still standing, but injured.
Yes.
All right, and that takes us back to the top of the NPC initiative. At the top of NPC initiative, Crack, you see the one whose skull you just caved in stands back up as the skull repairs itself.
Not optimal. Not optimal.
And they're going to continue trying to eat Crack. They miss.
Yay.
They continue to miss. They have a decent chance to eat Crack. They just keep missing.
All right, fair. So that was a miss?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
And the one fighting the necromancer that's currently engaged with Kitty is going to attack. That's going to attack Kitty. So one hand's holding a blaster. From behind its back, 2 hands pull out 2 of these vibro knives, and they are going to try to stab into you. With linked 1 for having 2 of them.
I don't have any armor things.
Difficulty increased by 1 because they are 2 weapon fighting. Try to stab.
Hey, I apologize. This is the necromancer attacking Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They fail.
Yay.
Because rudimentary vibro knives suck.
Also, we have I would assume sort of caster class versus support class going on over here.
I mean, support class who took the melee, Wookiees just get some melee stuff.
Right.
So we can do stuff with the threats.
You can. What would you like to do with those threats?
There's with 2 of them, someone can do a free maneuver. Or give a boost.
Would Crack perhaps want to get away from all of the zombies?
Yes. If I can move around, I'll actually move around and try to come over and assist with the.
You may
with the
immediately
necromancer.
perform 1 free maneuver in response to the active character's check.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Then if we can do that, I'll bob and weave around the zombies and come over next to Kitty.
You slap
And
it
I
with
can
your
tank
face
for you.
tentacles, and it just like run over. All right, yeah, you get out from the grasp of the zombies and run over towards the necromancer. It's now a PC slot.
Who's still left?
This new round, anyone can go.
New round. Graz is going to try and take another shot at this individual who's
ahead.
on them.
Do it.
I've taken the first round,
Maneuver
and now
to aim.
Other people go first.
And training saber to the face or something. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, you
8 stun damage to the Eosian.
Following Corsorat's lead, you sort of grab the Eosian by the back of the head while it's distracted, keeping Ilyana off, and just ram training saber into the face until it stops moving and you let go and it hits the ground.
And
there's now only 1 Eosian left.
Actually, Graz will suffer 2 strain to close 1 range band towards the Necro Sith.
All right. Running that direction. No, it's nothing but PC slots from here on out. So who's
I would
next?
like to take well, it's all PC slots. I would like to take one for an entirely useless thing, as you just start stabbing this thing so she can actually stab something
All right.
Okay.
repeatedly and viciously while screaming.
Mutilating a body.
Alright.
Ilyana drops down and stab.
I would like to take one because I'm already in melee with the guy that's left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it should be almost certainly one of us.
If you want to go.
No,
that's
no, no.
fine.
Please do.
Cool.
I just would like to get this thing down before the zombies catch us.
Right? Fail.
Slice and miss.
I would like to go then.
Go ahead, Crack.
as we go into pure support class, like
Slap fight.
Let the flailing begin.
let's see. I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Actually, how badly injured? Oh, is this thing injured at all?
Yeah,
Yes, it is,
It
right?
has
It
been
got
shot.
stabbed.
It's been stabbed and shot.
Oh, how badly off does it look?
It's hard to tell.
Okay,
These things,
I'm gonna use.
even the ones back there that were getting hit a lot harder, they don't show a lot of the damage.
Okay, I think Crack is just in pure on flail mode. I'm gonna use another light side point and go with
ahead.
both weapons again.
So it's 2 difficulty, upgraded once. Or sorry, 3 difficulty because you're 2 weapon fighting,
Yeah,
upgraded once.
and it is upgraded because it is a adversary. Let's see. Okay. Just better go.
Slap fight occurs.
Yep.
Corserath would like to go.
All right.
So Corserath, seeing that he's nowhere near close enough to actually close with this last Eosian, is going to look down at the corpse in front of him, scoop up the blaster pistol that it was holding, and take a second maneuver to strain to aim and try and shoot it.
All right. You are at long range. That is outside the range of this blaster pistol.
Oh, is it? Never mind. Then I will take a second maneuver
Yeah.
to move closer and then try and shoot it.
Okay. You move closer into medium range. That's going to be difficulty 2, upgraded once.
What are the stats on this blaster?
Damage is da, 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 da. Damage 6, critical 3, range medium, skill ranged light, condition moderate.
Cool. Then that should be, and medium range is difficulty
Difficulty 2, upgraded once.
upgraded once.
And the condition of the blaster should automatically add an extra difficulty die.
Yeah, if you put it in the attack.
So long as you use the combat, the actual weapon to attack rather than rolling the skill, it'll add
Failure.
that
All right.
automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you,
Extra
shitty
difficulty
blaster
or
pistol.
extra setback?
that's a difficulty.
Oh, dang.
The
okay.
worse the condition of a weapon is, the harder it is to use.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was setback dice. That's even worse.
You fire, it fails.
That's why mechanics are so great, because they can improve the quality of things.
I'd
Yeah.
like to try and hit the thing.
All right, Nereus, go ahead.
I
I w-
aim.
Aim, so you get an extra boost die. It's in
Woo.
it's in short range from you, so it's difficulty 1, upgraded once.
Yep.
I will laugh my ass off if nobody hits this thing all the way until it's its turn.
There we go.
right.
5 damage.
Well, Nereus shoots it and it goes down. And as it hits the ground, the zombies turn into twigs and leaves and fall apart. And we are out of initiative.
Clearly, Mara hates laughter.
Ilyana,
That's my takeaway.
Ilyana, as you're stabbing down
Yes.
into this Eosian again and again, you realize you're stabbing dirt and mud, and there's not actually a body there.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, you notice it.
Do I
Takes a while.
though?
It
You
takes
do.
a while.
It is a very different feel to stabbing a body to stabbing the ground, let me tell you.
That's true, but how much does Ilyana actually pay attention to physical senses as opposed to force
Hold
senses?
on, guys. I think we need to back up to what John just said.
Corserath, that blaster you're holding is a stick.
Really? Toss.
Kitty, that knife you're holding is also a stick. There are no bodies around.
Cool stick. I want to see if it's a magic stick.
It is not a magic stick.
Crack looks at
Does
Kitty
it
and says,
feel like a stick that is of this planet in some way?
Oh yeah, no, it's like one of the sticks around you.
Oh.
Crack
I
looks
pull
at-
my gun
yeah,
back.
Crack looks at Kitty and also goes, they were plant-based. Wait.
Well,
They were
I mean-
bullshit.
I would guess.
I like Neri's quietly blow imaginary smoke off the
Yes.
gun.
It's
They
just
were
the
more than
sound of
likely
flowing
an
'cause they
illusion
don't have a
created by
mouth.
this planet.
Yeah, whether or not they were independently sentient creatures, they were echoes of the planet's nature. Does it feel a little more?
Is that
By
stab wound real?
Oh yeah, no, all the wounds you've suffered are absolutely real.
By the planet, really?
I look.
Not
course,
perhaps
the
by
planet-
the people who brought us here to do this?
I mean,
Graz
potentially,
limps
but
over toward
John, do I think that
their sister.
that is within the unamplified power set of our mentors? Conjuring many illusionary enemies.
You've never seen them do that.
Ileana just assumes because, well, Night Sisters, folks.
Yeah.
They're manipulative.
Anyways,
Sorry.
in character conversation, so I can keep track.
Yes,
Sorry.
no, fair. No, absolutely fair.
If it was, wouldn't they be using the planet's natural force to do that anyways?
this,
And
I would.
as I'm doing that, I'm dragging either Nereis to Graz or Graz to Nereis, whichever is easier.
I would more readily
okay,
assume
okay.
that they would bring us to this planet because this planet does this innately, then they would bring us to this planet to do it themselves.
Which makes me
I've-
think that the explosion from the ship was
Yep.
probably an illusion.
That's
Yep.
been my thought from the beginning, yes.
Ileana, you were
It
also
really
injured?
didn't feel like one, but
Kitty.
going
Well,
Kitty,
This
hang on,
stab
really
wound.
quick.
Yep.
Kitty, make me a lore check. Difficulty 2.
yay.
the stab wound didn't feel like an illusion either, but
Nope.
Are
yeah,
you all right?
I'll be fine.
Oh, right. I forgot that it's the lower tab. I was looking at the NPC sheet.
I've lost more blood than this.
As I'm doing that, I am trying to get Nereis to heal my twin. 1 success, 1 advantage, 1 triumph.
Nereis, it's going to mostly at the moment, Graz is either going to need a stim pack or time to rest.
Okay.
So Kitty, with a triumph and a success.
What about that critical wound though? Is that not something that Nerys can handle?
Yes, but that'll be a you can make a critical wound check now that you're not in combat. Kitty, so what's the difficulty of the critical wound, William or Jack?
It'll
say on the
2.
So
2
it'll be
purples.
a 2 difficulty medicine check to see if you
Okay.
can restore that critical wound.
All right.
So Kitty, with the information that you're gathering from the people around you, like, you know, that these injuries are real, even if the creatures you were fighting weren't, this feels like it's a manifestation of the dark side, which is a thing that the Force can do in places that are particularly dense with the Force, like a Vergence. They can either the dark or light side can manifest not necessarily illusions, but entities,
Arms.
people, harm, healing. Like, it can manifest a variety of things. Typically the Force orders of the galaxy use things like that to test their people. Like Jedi will send their Padawans into places where their fears will be made manifested by the dark side. Things like that.
Take him up.
So Nereis, you're looking at the injury, and it is beyond your capacity at the moment to heal.
I would need you need to rest. I cannot fix
Nereus, could you please look at Corsoreth?
Yes.
John,
Hmm?
based on what the critical injury says, it says increase difficulty of all skill checks by 1 difficulty die until the end of the encounter. Has the encounter ended?
Yes, the encounter has ended.
All right.
So
So I'm no longer at
you're no
increased
longer-
difficulty, but the critical injury still remains.
Correct. The critical injury still remains because it still buffs your future critical injuries, but the
Right.
effect is not off. So you can hit.
All right,
You can
so
hit the.
I can
from
turn that
on to
off now?
Yeah, you can toggle it off,
Okay.
but it's not healed yet.
All
And a
right.
stim pack wouldn't heal.
A
the
stim pack
critical
would just heal
injury, right?
wounds. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Which Graz will actually pull out the stim pack that they were given and just slap it on.
You heal 5 wounds.
All right.
Perfect. That's exactly as many as I had.
And then I go over to Corsoreth, as was indicated.
So yeah, Kitty, that's what you know from that lore check is that this
Yeah.
this feels like a manifestation of the Force.
It's dark here, so the darkness itself is probably dense enough to be physical.
It doesn't mean that it's not actively being used by.
Oh no, that's traditional.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ileana, what do you?
Thought that was obvious. Who else is injured?
Corsoreth, what's your, how many wounds out of how many do you have?
I have 2 wounds out of my 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
Oh, I thought you were
You
injured.
healed me
How
once
bad is
already.
Crack?
actually.
Yeah, no,
Because
yeah.
I remember Crack
Corsoreth's
getting
already been
hit
healed once.
twice.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
it-
can't heal him anyway?
Yeah.
Right? Is
Crack's
anyone
actually
else-
not great. He is though in the process of actually investigating his own wounds. He's carefully put away the 2 tools that he had out after checking to make sure that they didn't get messed up by hitting things. Do they look like they've hit anything, John?
Yeah, they look like they've been hitting things. They're not damaged or anything, but
Okay, all right.
you would
He'll
definitely
clean them
were
off, put 'em
attacking
away.
things.
And then start poking at the wounds that he has, and see if the I guess the blaster wound, and see
Oh, yeah.
if does it look like a blaster wound?
It looks
though?
like a blaster wound.
Okay.
Corsoreth, you will just need rest. Crack!
He's like
So-
knuckle deep in a wound.
What?
Oh,
We
someone-
lost Aaron.
Aaron went
Don't-
away.
Don't put your thumb in it!
Well, if the attackers weren't here, I figured it was a possibility that it was something else. But no, it's a blaster wound. It is
Yes!
incredibly painful.
Keep doing that. I will attempt to use Force Sense
Okay.
to pick up living creatures in the area. Because we already did the 4C, and you don't 4C on something twice in a day, because that's bad.
That makes bad things happen, right?
That makes bad things happen. So roll my Force die, which is
Look at
2
Force
right
sense.
now. I'm gonna be really excited if
Crack, what
light
what
side.
wound level are you at?
6 out of 13, so I'm still below half, but just barely.
Hey, I don't have to knock myself unconscious with strain to use it.
Yay.
Well done. Well done
The
indeed.
Force. So you're using sense?
Yes. So I'm using sense specifically. To sense all living things in a short range of herself, including animals and sentient beings. That is just a force point.
Mhm.
And then I will.
2 wounds.
Can I
5
hold on to
things.
those other 2 to utilize the second aspect if I sense something? Which is pick up.
Yeah, you can do that.
State? Okay.
Yeah. So you sense those of you. Nobody actually is in short range of you at the moment. So you sense some insects and some various like animal life, but nothing major.
Okay.
Thanks, Nerys. That feels much better.
You are welcome.
You also sort of ambiently sense the heavy dark side presence of the area.
Right.
Is anyone else injured? Avasia.
I
Kitty.
wasn't hit.
I mean,
Nice.
mechanically we're specifically talking about wound points, right?
But I can also heal strain.
Only
Okay.
with advantages, so it's a little bit harder, but yeah.
Yeah. I can at least get
I
one.
meant because I don't remember how. I know some of the strain was like doing force stuff, but
Mhm.
I think I got smacked, so like there's probably some bruising and
No,
shit.
you took some strain from missing, because you kept generating threats but not hitting anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You took strain because you were getting
So
frustrated.
yeah,
Yep.
so never mind. She doesn't look physically injured. She just looks like she has a migraine, because she does more than normal on this planet.
So a
Ilyana?
migraine is a thing that can be fixed with medicine.
Ilyana, do you have a headache?
I'm good, thank you.
We should keep going.
We need to push on, yes.
All right.
Let's not head towards blaster fire that we hear in the distance next time.
I would agree with that. Has anyone ever heard of?
We were gonna
What-
have this fight anyways.
I
What?
don't know that I believe that.
Well,
Well,
while we're
you're
moving,
Wrong.
has anyone ever heard of cults, species that could raise their dead? I understand that this was illusory, but if it's an echo of something else,
John, I'm a Sith,
I'd like
so
to
I
make
believe
a lore
yes.
check, but my internet keeps cutting out.
You can make a lore check, Corserath.
Can I do
So
the same?
lower.
Yeah, anyone who wants to can make a lore check.
Difficulty.
For everybody except Ilyana, it's going to be difficulty 3. For Ilyana, it's difficulty 1.
Ooh. Yeah, no.
Fine.
Graz don't know shit.
Boy, I'm rolling great today.
You hadn't been taught that particular ritual before you left, Ilyana.
Apparently not.
That's the issue. That's the issue there.
Unfucking believable.
Lots of
Kitty,
success.
on the other hand.
Well, then Kitty has studied with the other Night Sister that's on the ship extensively. So, Kitty, you have never witnessed it, but you have read some notes of Raz Shayla that indicates that the Night Sisters of Dathomir have some sort of necromantic ritual that they perform on their fallen sisters.
Life and death are parts of the Force. It's a mistake to think that what was but is no longer living isn't part of the Force anymore. So it can be acted on through the Force with whatever might come in mind.
Graz is just ushering everybody along and trying to get back on course and following what waypoints we had.
Corserath, as you turn to follow the rest onto the trail, there's a figure standing in front of you with a dark hood shadowing its face, and all you can see is the vaguely feminine features of a Sith woman standing in front of you, smiling, going, "My pet."
I shoot.
There's nothing there as you raise the stick that you're still holding and try to fire.
I know, yeah. I fire it instinctively, realize it's a stick, and throw it away in frustration.
There's also nothing there.
Oh,
Sorry, Jeremy.
Nope.
so there is not blaster fire.
No, there's just Corserath jumps slightly and holds the stick out.
Avasia will come up
Actually-
next to him.
There's
Hang on,
moment
hang on a
Corserath,
hang on a second.
as Corserath turns, looks forward, rears back for a second and extends the arm that was holding the stick, looks down at it, realizes it's a stick, and gets frustrated for a second and throws it to the side.
Jeremy.
Yes. So because Ilyana plans to continue this argument that is going on. And was specifically looking at what exactly did she see?
You just saw Corsorath jerk and aim, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Vazia will just come up next to him and put her hand on his shoulder. Are you all right?
This planet is deciding it wants to use my past against me.
So are we all agreed we don't need to investigate any future times we happen to hear blaster fire in the distance?
I agree.
Yes, we've
I
already
think we're going to leave those.
We've already encountered the one we're going to encounter. Staring.
Out of curiosity.
Oh, I didn't realize you could tell that specifically.
I can't, but we encountered one, which we were going to encounter.
You're going to keep saying that, and it's not going to make me believe it.
So are you saying I'm incompetent?
No, I'm saying that I don't believe that because you've seen something, it is fixed. Otherwise, what is the point of seeing it?
Did the people you thought were going to get stabbed?
Doing the quick math in my head.
Yes.
Yes.
How about the people you thought were going to get shot?
Deflected.
Did they deflect
As I said, yes.
What else did you see about today?
I don't know if it's today, necessarily. Actually, I don't think I saw anything else for today.
There's
saw just
the
temple up ahead.
And
yeah, but you had said that was like
yeah,
not
you saw the
thing.
you saw the temple in your
Yes.
previous day's one as well,
Yes.
and you hadn't yet physically been
Right.
there.
and shadowy things. But
Yep.
you haven't told anyone else about that yet.
Well, the shadowy things were stabbing and shooting people, which
Yes. Stabbing and shooting and pulling at and
Yes.
such.
Let's be on our way then.
which if you think
Okay.
about it, you could replace shadowy person with those creatures and
Shade,
the zombies.
illusionary creature, yes.
Yeah. it's almost like there's a reason you couldn't see their defined forms.
Yep.
They don't have one. Anyways, you continue on.
Yep.
You continue traveling through the dark. As those of you that don't already have dark vision or of a kind, which I think only Crack has natively dark vision. Your eyes.
I don't have native dark. Well, actually, maybe I do. I don't think I do.
Well,
but I have the goggles.
You have
I mean,
goggles. Okay.
To the extent that it's an environmental factor, Crack and the two Sith are having a much easier time with it.
Also, before John makes me spend a destiny point to say I remembered it, Crack hooks the Tolpagan back up.
Okay, good.
It's all good.
Neres and Crack, I think, are the only two that have the ability to see in the dark easily, I should say. But the rest of you, your vision begins to adjust as you go, as you get further away from the light source that was previously there. And starlight shines through, and you begin to hear and feel a vastly different world to the one that it was in the daytime. In the daytime, for those of you that had been there, the planet was vaguely comparable to Kashyyyk. The trees aren't as big, the animals aren't necessarily as big, but that there's still that feeling of jungle, humid, light, lots of light and animals and things. At night, everything feels much more muted. In addition to that overall sense of the dark side, with that sort of sickly, bitter taste to it, there is just this feeling of dread and slow going, and like every few steps, your foot is getting stuck in mud, even though there's no mud there. For Corsorath, it feels very much like Droman Kaas.
I mean, I'm wearing the amulet, so yes, it feels like Droman Kaas either way.
I mean, I don't mean physically. I mean, perceptively, it feels like Droman Kaas.
Do the stars look like what we would expect them to look like on the planet where we thought we were going.
Yes.
Okay.
From what you can see, from the vague glimpses you have through the canopy, they look like the stars that should be here. You can see the moon that you saw orbiting as you approached, things like that.
Okay.
Have we been misplaced again, or did Aaron come back in the right spot?
No, Aaron, because Aaron's the only one
Alrighty.
that left. Yeah, everyone's in the right spot.
My Wi-Fi is choppy and my Ethernet keeps cutting out, so
That's fine.
I keep having to negotiate what is working.
I want everybody.
So John, what you're saying is I should very quickly kill my camera and bring it back, just
to irritate me.
Yeah.
Everyone who wants to can make perception checks. Those of you that don't have the ability to remove a setback die, you have a setback die.
What difficulty?
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
2. Okay.
2 with a setback.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
Which one's set back again?
The black
one.
Black d6s.
1 threat.
And I
Nothing.
think I
Advantages.
just lowered
roll
the
that in
difficulty.
just one moment. Perception, 1 set, 2 difficulty, 1
Yeah,
setback.
I have a setback, but I remove 1 difficulty.
Hey.
So perception.
Nice.
Ugh. 2 failures. 2
Alright.
advantages.
So Yana got 3 successes.
I'm really excited for the possibility to say, for John to say, Eliana, you would know something, but you take 3 strain and go unconscious.
So Graz and Ilyana, the two of you notice that a little ways away off to this, you've been walking for a couple of hours now.
Mm-hmm.
Time gets weird at night, especially here.
Hard to track.
Yeah, it's really hard to track exactly how long it's been. But you do notice that off to one side, it looks like the ground drops away. It's hard to tell exactly in the dark, but it looks like there is a cliff's edge just off the path you're going from.
Graz will lift their nose to the air and try and see if they can smell any sort of... There was mention of a canyon and that possibly being the site of the crash.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to smell for fuel, carbon, burning, anything like that.
Give me a diff 4 perception check.
Okay.
There are lots of smells around you. Sussing out one in particular is hard.
Yeah, that would no, I'll save the destiny points for this one. 2 successes, 1 advantage.
Vaguely, you can smell just that, that for anyone that's ever been near a mechanic's shop.
Yeah.
When the garage doors are open at about 100 feet away, you just get this faintly acrid taste in the back of your throat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're
Gas,
smelling.
oil, and solvent.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron?
Ilyana decides not to say it, not to
No,
tell.
sorry, I'll actually wait until anything is mentioned.
Okay.
Ilyana decides not to tell Crack to go over that way a little bit. I'll let you decide if I take conflict from that.
No.
Okay.
Graz is up towards the front with Ilyana, and they will just tap her on the shoulder. I know our senses can't be entirely trusted on this planet, but I caught a whiff of maybe wreckage, and that looks like the canyon.
Off that way. Sounds about right.
Right. It may be the forest again, but
Probably. Because damn this planet.
I believe we found the canyon, everyone, and I'm catching a faint smell of what might be the wreckage somewhere down that direction.
Well, let's see if that's a genuine crash then, shall we?
All right.
If it turns out to be a pile of sticks, I'm going to be very disappointed.
John, I have a question.
Yes.
Would I'd still have to roll for it anyway. Would the craft ship still count as an object I'm familiar with? Or is it not because it's in a different format?
Yes, it would still count as an object you're familiar with.
Okay, I'm going to try and use sense.
Okay.
Not the part of sense that gets rid of illusions because I can't currently see it, but the other one.
All right, go ahead and roll your force die.
I'm just going to burn everything that I could possibly sense in relation to this at some point. It's currently a force pool of 2, correct?
Yes.
2 dark side. I'm going to take the 2 strain.
All right. 2
And
strain,
I'm
generate
going to
2 points
take
of conflict.
the 2 points of conflict, and I'm going to do that.
Flip our last destiny point.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's what they're for.
That's just up to the storyteller to give us more destiny. Flip some
Do
more
I
dark
sense
side.
the ship in any given direction?
You do. You sense it along this where they have indicated there is a crevasse. You sense it along that path.
All right. The ship's that way. And I'll sort of keep that up as much as I can while we start heading that way.
So, assuming you follow along, eventually you break free of the tree line and you find yourself standing at the edge of a giant rift in the ground. You sort of casually look over and you see, it's hard to see what's at the bottom of it because it's so deep, but you see a deep and massive gaping wound in the land. As if something sort of carved out just a big chunk of ground. Too deep to see the bottom at night. Too far to even some of you might casually imagine what it would take to build a bridge across, and you're not certain how tall those pillars would have to be to support that bridge, but it'd be a long ass bridge if it was. And after walking a little bit further along the edge of this canyon, you find the wreckage of a ship. It looks like basically the front half of the ship. You sort of, the first thing you come across is you're looking at the cockpit of the freighter sort of turned on its side and busted open, like the glass is shattered and missing and bits are strewn all over the place. And it seems like roughly like half to a third of the ship is here, and the rest is just gone. Whether that's in the canyon or scattered amongst its component pieces, who knows?
There she is.
Can I try to make a judgment call on that? Just maybe a mechanics check to see what it looks like, to see if we think it was just incinerated or maybe if it's somewhere else.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a mechanics check. Difficulty 2.
Okay.
At this point, I'm going to do the anti-force illusions part of sense.
Go ahead.
Wow, that's a lot of advantage.
You're pretty certain that based on what you think caused the explosion, there would have been more pieces of it probably landed in the canyon.
Okay. There's probably more spread around. If we want to try to...
Well, I don't think climbing down the canyon in the middle of the dark is the wisest course. We should at least explore this part of the wreckage and see.
Let's see if we can explore this and maybe take shelter here for a while until.
Okay, that's 2 threats and 2 successes, which is should see through illusions. I can put the thing in chat.
As far as you can tell, this is not an illusion.
Okay.
So,
Crack, maybe you can get the communicator equipment working and at least send a message back to the rest of the order.
Right. What was the name of the Mandalorian master?
Sarah Sartinos.
Also, unless Master Artinos managed to eject, we should either find what's left of them or nothing, in which case maybe they're still around. Crack will try to pick his way over to the cockpit.
Good for that.
All right. Yeah, Jeremy, you can go ahead and make that roll as well.
Cool. Oh wait, that's a whole lot of shit that's in there.
You just roll a bunch of difficulty and no actual ability.
I mean, it's just
a vigilance check
yeah,
to
yeah.
shatter illusions.
Yeah. With the 2 dice.
Yeah, it's a diff 2 vigilance check.
God
One
damn
more
it!
time.
Yeah, difficulty might help. That's good because I keep rolling all the light side points.
Nope, still just
What?
light side.
What the fuck? Not just light side, not just a light.
Double light sides, yeah. Twice.
2 dice, 4 light side points.
You have rolled 2 light side. You have rolled 2 light side points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times trying to do this roll.
I want to point. No, yes. In 3 rolls.
Yeah.
But yes, 5 times. You confused me there for a second.
No. I'm just across the 3 rolls.
It's too bad that we don't have a light side a destiny point to flip, so that I could start bleeding from the nose as I go unconscious trying to make this work.
Too bad.
Sorry, I saved you with my reckless use of the light side of the party.
Because she absolutely would. She is that frustrated right now.
So, Crack, you can make a mechanics check difficulty 3. Sorry, are you trying? Sorry, hang on. Let me back up. What are you trying to find, Crack?
Well, at this point, I want to get to the cockpit and look around.
You can get there pretty easily. So
Okay.
you climb through the wreckage of what used to be that sort of central area. Seems like the entire cargo section of the freighter is just gone, along with the engines and most of the crew quarters. All that's really left is the galley and the cockpit, and that sort of connecting bar. So you get into the cockpit, and it is trashed. It definitely, like, this section of the ship hit nose first.
Nobody in there sitting and having tea and
No,
waiting for us
no,
saying
there are no bodies on the ground. There's also a big fucking hole in the cockpit where a body could have very easily been thrown out.
Fair. Okay.
Or sucked out on re-entry.
It never made it to atmosphere.
Oh, okay. Never broke Atmo.
No.
Okay. Well, I would like to see if anything in here is repairable.
So
and
mechanics check difficulty 3, and I'm going to flip it.
I would like to use manipulate.
Okay.
Graz is headed
does
to the galley
manipulate
to
do?
see if they can.
Basically, I get to add my force dice to the mechanics check.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Graz is going to head to the galley to see if they can scavenge any food that might be still salvageable.
Survival check difficulty 2. Also flipping a dark side for that. So upgrade the difficulty.
Hell
on
yeah.
Both your things.
And I'm sorry, what was the difficulty? It was upgraded, but what was the difficulty on?
Diff 3 upgraded once.
Diff 3 upgraded once. Okay.
3 successes, but a despair. Hey.
So, Graz, you find a whole bunch of raw food supplies that survived the crash,
Okay.
and that's it.
Wrapping it up in whatever they can find and dragging it back out.
Crack, so looking around, do you want to spend one of the 2 light side points you have now, take 3 strain, gain 3 conflict, and use those 3 dark side?
Do I mean, I have 2 success. Candidly, would additional successes help me on this roll or not?
You get to make that choice before you know.
I mean, mechanically in this system, are there gradients of success?
Yes.
I didn't think there were.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
gradients of success.
Yeah, then honestly, I think I will, because Crack is still internally convinced that this might be his fault. So yeah, I think I will.
Flip that light side, take 3
Solid
strain,
decision.
generate 3 conflict,
Okay.
and you determine very, very much, like, completely that there is nothing salvageable here. You can't, like, this all they're like you could there are parts here that you can remove that would like bits and pieces of ancillary things, like you can get some wiring and some switches and some lights and things, but like the all of the infrastructure of the ship has been damaged beyond repair. The communications array gone. Shields probably in the other half of the ship, wherever that's at. Like everything is this is not salvageable.
All right, so Crack will pop his head back out and say, well, good news. The enhanced connection to the Force on this planet has allowed me to reach out and investigate the wreckage on a molecular level. So reaching out, I became one with the Force, communed with the wreckage of the ship.
What's a molecule?
Bad news, it's absolutely trashed and there's nothing else I can do about it.
I want to look.
Come on in. There are some really neat patterns in the trash.
I scavenged what I could of the
I'm
food.
gonna try and be
10 minutes and
one
we
with
should
the
be back
Force
on
as
the
I-
trail.
Sorry. Two people were talking at the same time there.
Yep. Graz is done.
Which was to say,
No, I-
Graz said that they'd scavenged what they could of the food in 10 minutes and they'll be good to be back on the trail. Aaron.
Sorry, everything keeps cutting out, so I can't hear when I'm talking over people.
No worries.
You're good.
Kitty's gonna go in a ship, and while trying to be one with the Force and experience whatever sensations are connecting to the ship, mostly is trying to figure out why it crashed. Like, is there a black box? Or the Star Wars equivalent of a black box, which is where are the slashes on the thing?
Yeah.
I would like to assist with that if I'm
Sure, you can give me a mechanics check with a boost die, difficulty 3, Kitty.
Diff 3. Skill. I'm really smart, even if I don't know mechanics.
So
1 success and 3 advantages.
any sort of like crash log, there are indeed the Star Wars equivalent of black boxes, crash logs that you can find in wrecked ships in order to ascertain what caused them to crash. The trick is that it's in different places for every ship, and space being what it is, they're not always guaranteed to survive. It's really hard to get for instance, to get a crash log out of a ship that got destroyed by a black hole or something, or flew into a star. You can only
but
make
this
them
one
so
didn't
durable.
break Atmo.
Correct. You're not able to find where it would be, which means that either it got knocked, that whatever secondary ancillary log recording device it was either got knocked loose in the crash, or was on the other half of the ship.
Okay. In that case, there's nothing I happen to find that's indicative in terms. I was mostly like, okay, what went wrong? If there was a box that told me, that's great.
Yeah. Other than looking for that, as far as you can tell, based on what Crack suggested previously, actually, Crack, did you suggest previously what you thought happened? I forgot.
No.
Okay.
No,
Based on what you saw and what's here, the engines blew. Like something happened and the engines exploded.
All right, so Kitty will come back out a little later. Well, it looks like the engines were what went wrong. They blew up.
That was an old freighter. That sort of thing happens.
I am standing in the back, just observing everyone.
Okay.
I'm trying to see how everyone's taking
It is a little weird because it was in such good repair, and Sarah's clearly focused on it, but
A lot of things were rattling around, though. But you're right.
Everyone who
Certainly
wants to
tried
can
her
make,
best.
everyone but Crack can make a perception check, difficulty 3.
Okay.
And I'm gonna flip a lot of dark side points here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm flipping 6 dark side points, so those are all upgraded once.
Okay.
Oh, good, because I've needed upgrades to fail on my
Perception?
rolls.
Groth doesn't give a shit about your upgrades.
Jesus Christ, Corserath.
I'm only
Despair.
rolling fucking my
Not
cunning.
a failure, but a despair.
Apparently, the one that everybody fails is the one I succeed on.
No,
Oh, I
Groth's
can't
got
wait
2
for that.
successes and a
Kind of
triumph and a threat.
So, for those of you that rolled despair, you're going to take a point of strain as the realization of you're trapped on this planet sort of hits home. This isn't an illusion. This isn't a trick, as far as you can tell. This ship actually blew up and crashed. Those of you that made successes, you see a little crab droid fiddling around with some loose screws amidst the wreckage. Just and it has like a loose screw in its claws, and it's sort of like playing with.
I assume that's Crack's
Yeah, it's Crab
droid.
droid.
Right, yeah.
Oh, good.
Can I
At
spend...
least
Is
that
there anything that Graz...
survived.
Is there anything that
No,
Graz...
that's been with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
Clax was here cheering
for
us
what-
on during the fight.
yeah, it's been with you the whole time. But you notice that it's just sort of playing amidst the wreckage with a bunch of screws.
And
That-
keep in mind, the last thing that was said before these rolls were called for was there's stuff rattling around or something.
Oh, right.
Yep. Is that because the droid took some parts?
Mary
Clax.
wouldn't do that.
No, it.
Wait, sorry, I missed my internet
I'm
spotty too. What was just said?
Someone was asking if you took some points, some parts.
No, Graz is very clearly pointing at Clax, who has like a shit ton of spare bolts that it's just playing with.
Can-
Apparently,
Wait.
And you can
Can
all
What?
see this now that Graz points it out.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, Ilyana got a
Yeah,
success.
Ilyana
Ilyana saw
got a
that
success.
too, right?
Ilyana
Yeah.
has no idea what that means.
I have a
Oh,
question
okay.
real quick.
Yes.
Because I have just been standing back watching the situation and things. Because Nere's didn't see what Crack was doing and stuff, but do I get the sense of like what Crack is maybe thinking of what happened and like what I'm trying to take a temperature of the room basically.
Sure.
'cause-
Give me there's a roll you can make for that.
I feel like
could-
there's
feel
been
like
a
it's-
sudden rise of anger.
Vigilance or cool, one of those two.
Um
School is usually insight.
yeah,
okay.
be a cool check.
Cool? Okay.
Yeah. We'll say difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2? Okay. 2. Cool. God damn it. All right.
I will point out that Ilyana actually saw Clax in the vents.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Didn't go well. Okay.
I'm sorry. So I repeat. I'm sorry. What? In response to Graz's statement or question or whatever it was.
Do we all know the name of the little spider droid?
Clax.
Clax,
The
yes.
little crab droid. Yeah, he's Clax.
Kitty's gonna walk over to Clax and, hey, Clax, you got those screws before we boarded Saris's ship, right?
Has he been just chilling with him the whole time, John?
What? Sorry.
Has Clax been chilling with the same bolts the entire time? Or are these new ones that he's picked up and is playing with in the wreckage?
Some of them are new. Not all of them are new. Some of them are new. But yeah, Clax still has the same bolts that he picked up off the ship previously. As part of... Clax seems to have started collecting them.
I'm
Yes.
trying to diffuse the situation. I don't realize I'm making it
Clax,
work.
Clax in binary responds, some of them.
I feel like that's the part where Kitty looks back to Graz because I suspect that if one of them speaks binary, it's probably
Graz,
Yep.
really quick, Graz,
Yeah.
would you like to spend that triumph to notice a detail that everyone else has missed?
Yes, I would.
All right, cool. You actually recall seeing Clax removing screws previously in the engine room.
Right.
And you know for a fact that those are not the screws that hold the engine in place. These are little teeny tiny like panel reinforcing screws.
Yeah, these are things that hold armor panels on the inside of the ship.
Like these are things that hold access panels in place. These are not nearly the size nor caliber nor even the right type of things that would have caused any damage to the engines by being removed. You also can tell that Crack has not made that connection yet with that Triumph.
Okay.
Crack has not made the connection that there's no way Clax could have done this.
That Graz will just step in then.
Yeah, because that's good.
Those bolts are the sort that just hold on access panels and brackets and things. They would have to be far larger. Those are extraneous bolts. That couldn't have been.
And Crack, now that it's been voiced, you start thinking about it. Yeah, no, you would have to have an army of these kinds of droids to loosen an engine on a starship.
Plan for later, though. Army of crab droids just...
Oh, if we get credits, you know that's what I'm spending them on.
Sorry.
Ancillary. That's the word I'm looking for.
And in fact, Crack, you regain 2 points of strain as you come to this realization that it wasn't your fault. Thanks to Graz.
Of course. That leave it to old Graz to point out something obvious. He just sort of like collapses against one of the walls and sort of slowly slides down.
Well, if there's nothing more to be gained from continuing to poke around,
do we
this
wish
debris,
to seek out the other half of this ship?
Not in the dark, I do not believe.
Should we take a moment to see if there is shelter within this to be manufactured to wait for the sunrise?
How
go
hard
searching?
would it be to seal up the cockpit?
I mean, it wouldn't be too terribly hard to seal it up. There's not a lot of room in there.
How much longer do we have before the sun rises?
I have no idea.
Anyone who wants can make a survival check, difficulty 2.
Maybe I do have an idea.
I have some cunning. Let's roll. That one I succeeded on, even with the upgrade that wasn't supposed to be there.
Survival.
Nope. I have no clue.
I got 2.
Go ahead and re-roll with the correct difficulty, William. We do that for people that do it,
Yeah, that's fair.
either way.
I got better successes.
There you go.
Well done.
I got 2.
Everyone that made successes, you look up. It's really hard to tell time in the forest because it's hard. You've got no real information to gauge it off of. But now that you're on this canyon where there's a much clearer view of things, you've got another... You slept for 8 hours. You've been moving for a few hours. You've got about 6 hours until the sun comes up.
We could take a brief rest here. And then dawn in about 6 standard.
We could rest for maybe 4, maybe 5, move slightly before dawn. Hopefully be finding the thing by the sunrise.
I think we still have quite a few clicks to put under us before we get to the temple, but...
No, I mean the other half of the ship.
You mean the other half of the ship. Do we have anything to keep us safe if we try and descend into the canyon? Because, John, this is like a cliff, right?
Yeah,
this
it's
isn't
just
like a gentle... Right, yeah.
Sheer cliff.
This is climbing. This is not walking, right?
I cannot climb easily.
We may be able to create a winch and pulley system or some way to lower us down a little bit more easily, at least. Maybe the rest of us could rest, and anyone who'd like to help me do so, we could work on that while the rest of the night wanes.
Really
What
quick,
does a
we're
Jedi
gonna
multi-tool contain?
we're gonna go on a quick break for a moment, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back.
Yeah.
All right, so you are all gathered around the crashed front section of the starship, of the freighter. You are doing what now?
Graz is just going to put forth, I believe that the better decision would be to leave exploring the canyon for another time if we have time and focus more on our primary objective.
What if the master's body is somewhere nearby?
Then there is a few kilograms extra organic matter here, and our master has joined with the Force.
What if there's a lightsaber nearby?
We already know where to go for those.
Liliana visibly takes a breath in, lets it out, sort of calms down a little bit. We should, with them, we should.
Before we head off, was the comm unit in this section of the ship?
I didn't see one. Crack?
I know where that was because I used it.
Yeah,
I think we saw.
the cockpit.
Yeah,
It was in the
but it's been.
cockpit.
Yeah. Yes, it was. It unfortunately has been completely obliterated.
Completely. Is there no chance of getting it back operational?
I think not.
Nope,
right,
not
John?
at all.
All right.
Well, no, not even salvageable parts to take and build our own.
All right. Well, then we should get moving then, because there's no chance of either salvaging the ship to get off this planet or contacting our order. So we'll have to look for another crashed ship that's in somewhat better condition, perhaps with a working communicator.
I'm sure there are many of those around.
That would be the argument for exploring more of the crash site. But you're right. If we're limited in time, and anyone is coming, we should probably
The
make it
limit
to the
of
temple.
time on the trial seems more real than the risk that the metal will erode in a week that it takes us.
I
Let's be on our
agree.
way, then.
But we should try to make it to the trial site. If we are retrieved from there, then this all becomes a moot point. If not, we can always retrace our steps.
For all we know, the order has placed a communicator at the location of the temple.
Waiting for Ileana and Graz, who have historically led, to lead.
Yep. Graz will step out and work with Ileana to get us back on course.
Yep.
So, Ileana and Graz, you can either both give me survival checks, or one of you can give me a survival check with a boost die. Diff 2.
Let's both do it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with having a safety net. Diff
Well,
2,
there's some advantage.
Diff
There's
2,
plenty of light side points to go around.
survival. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
Hey.
There we go.
Plenty of successes there. So, with those successes, you manage to continue on until daybreak without getting accidentally eaten by an arboreal octopus. After walking for several hours...
Accidentally.
Yes, accidentally. I mean, if you want to intentionally get eaten by an arboreal octopus, let me know and I'll have it happen.
It's Star Wars, not Starvor. Let's move on.
God damn
You
it,
say that
Craig.
you say that as if
God.
it can't be one and the same.
I say that, John, hoping it can't be one and the same.
I
Why do
mean,
you-
you saw what happened with the Rancor Pit in Jabba's palace.
And the
Okay,
Sarlacc
moving on.
pit.
And the Millennium Falcon on the planet. Or in
Right, on the asteroid.
yeah,
Yep.
on the asteroid.
I am currently Googling how to close Pandora's box.
Anyways.
Oh, that was the best possible response.
Light eventually breaks, and as day breaks, you feel that shift. Being awake at the moment and being aware that it happens, all of you can sort of feel this wash from that very clearly dark side feel to a more light side feel as the planet as the day-night cycle shifts. It feels, having gone through it twice now and this time being aware of it, it feels as if the flow of day and night is a cyclical flow of the Force as it surrounds the planet and emanates out from the planet, more than a traditional just working of galactic bodies. Which is a very odd feeling for anybody, much less for Force
Makes
users.
Graz do a squidge.
But now it's daytime. Would you like to, and you're still traveling alongside the canyon, would you like to slip back over towards the canyon and look down, or continue on through the trees?
I mean, Crack will
We're
definitely
forging ahead.
Continue on. The only thing that's going to be what we can or can't come back to later.
Can we look as we walk, or do we have to take a side trip?
You would have to step off the trail. The trail is in the woods. You'd have to step off the trail over to the edge.
Okay.
It's visible though. You can see the cliff's edge from the woods. You just can't
Shouldn't
see
we
over it.
at least take a peek?
Let's. Mm,
What
no.
could go wrong? Come on.
I would feel much more comfortable.
Now officially, no.
I would feel much more comfortable exploring this planet to find things to get us off of it with a lightsaber in hand.
If you really want to go, Crack, you can go on your own.
Our mentors mentioned that we could take how many days, John?
You got a week.
We could take a week. I personally, I don't know if that was just the amount of time that they were giving us, or if that is the planet's clock's worth of time.
If theoretically at the end of the week, if we haven't already succeeded, the planet will kill us.
Well, or we will no longer be able to find the stones, or we'll be so used to the planet we can't leave. You know, the sort of things that are, or the nature of time.
Well then, either way, speed would seem to be somewhat of the essence.
To be clear, Ilyana is currently keeping an eye on Crack. After being told if he wanted to do it, he could go off by himself. Did he go off by himself? Because that is thoroughly within character for Crack.
Yeah, no, that's why he said okay and is walking in that direction.
Yeah, okay. Ilyana isn't stopping him, just making note of it.
Don't actually go off by yourself.
Crack, I follow him.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
How far, like in terms of, is this a minute sidetrack, or is this a couple hours at this
No,
point?
it's a minute. Like it's not.
Okay.
It's within sight. It's not easy, but it's like it's not. It's not. I take 2 steps and I'm there, but it's
Right.
not. You will be out of sight if you go.
And she is keeping to where, like, if he gets slightly out of view, she will. So she's got eyes on him.
Yeah.
Regularly.
And
Crack-
Nereus
Crack-
is following Crack.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
doing this. I'm going to say this to Corserath because it seems like he might be the right person. He's doing this. Maybe we could take a minute breather.
That might be helpful, yes.
John, I'd like to do the meditation-y thing that can relieve strain.
Yes, you can do anyone who's not currently active can do the meditation thing, which is a roll of a particular skill. Hang on.
Sorry.
I am 90% sure it's a discipline check.
Yes, it is a difficulty 2 discipline check. The number of successes you make equal the amount of strain you reduce.
Can I use a light side point for this?
To upgrade your roll? Yeah.
Just
Cool.
I recover
I
no
didn't
strain.
do that because I have more than half my strain right now.
Hey, same.
So while people are doing that, Nereus, you're following Crack. Are you trying to stop Crack? Or are you just trying to follow Crack?
No, I'm just following him.
All right.
If it's not
So Crack,
not too far.
you get to the edge of the canyon, and you look down. That's a big fucking creature.
Okay.
You look down into the canyon, and you see a creature.
Oh no.
This creature is lying at the bottom of the canyon. And it seems to be the length of the canyon. And width
damn it.
of the canyon.
Can I take a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
It's gonna be a tiny little flash, and then an eye opens.
No, it's a holo recorder. So there's a blue Stanny line that goes over it, and then it's eye.
And I was going to say again, Crack. So, well.
I was like, everything okay down there? I'm assuming we can't see.
No, you guys can't see
this
it.
giant monster down there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Can I see that? Or
If
is
you're
it
next
just
to Crack,
is
yeah.
seeing? Yeah.
If you're with Crack, yeah, you can look over and see it. You couldn't see it at night because it was too dark and there was not enough light to see it, but that's a big, and it's a long
Crack.
ways away. Nereus, your binoculars give you distance.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is about a skyscraper's worth of drop
Yep.
before you get to it.
But sound carries. Crack. I put my hand on your chest and try and back us up.
I'm just taking a picture for the record.
Crack.
Yes, Nereus.
It's not worth dying.
What?
You do know they're needling you, right?
I'm not going down. I'm just taking a picture.
Yes. You do know they're needling you, right? You
Who?
can go if you want to. Go off by yourself.
Right. But you came with me. And Crack turns back, and there's a fluctuation of his mouth tentacles that indicates happiness and smiling.
I can't make that much out, but did I hear the word dying?
We are fine. Crack.
Yes, Nereus.
Perhaps it might be good to think about what they are trying to get you to do when they talk to you, and whether you would like to do that or not, or whether that is a good idea.
I very much wanted to look into the canyon, and now I'm very glad that we did. And he points happily to the hollow picture.
What if you had gone over there and it looked at you and then ate you?
Then someone else would have had
Or
to take the picture.
And you would be dead. Do you not want to live?
I would prefer it, but you have to understand the chances of all of us making it back at any rate are certainly not optimal at this point. We may as well use
That
the
is
opportunity
my
to find
job.
out what we can.
That is my job, to make sure you all make it back alive. I am attempting to do so. Please assist me.
What if one of the escape craft had been entirely in one piece, hanging a meter down the side of the cliff?
Then we would find it later when we came back to look for it, as was decided earlier.
That's also true. Good talk, Nereus.
I walk back with Crack.
So, it's a good thing we didn't go into the canyon last night when it was dark, because look at this! And Craig happily shows the picture.
What are we looking at?
Anyone who wants to can make a xenology roll difficulty 5.
Yeah, can I tell what that is? I'm curious.
Xenology roll difficulty 5.
You could get lucky.
No,
This
it's
is not
big.
gonna
I am
succeed,
flipping
but
I am flipping
I
a
didn't
coin.
think so.
Nope.
Nope.
Hooray! What is it?
Crack, you're pretty certain this is a kraken, This is a land kraken. You're not certain how it's a land kraken, but it's a fucking land kraken. You have no idea
It's
what
me.
you have no idea what it actually is, but in your mind, the only thing it like connects to is these giant aquatic, like bigger than I can't think of the name, but bigger than the whale species that exists on the planet on
Yeah,
Mon
on
Calamari.
Calamari.
Thank you.
Yeah.
On Mon Calamari. In the darkest depths of the ocean, places where even Quarren don't go, are these massive, giant kraken-like entities that could fill up that amount of space, but underwater. And it's this giant multi-limbed lizard-like thing with claws and teeth, and it seemed to be asleep.
So it's a land analog of the largest predator from Mon Calamari. It's called a land kraken.
Excellent. Well, I think we'll leave that to its nap and keep
Yes.
going then.
To give it a size estimate, the Aeon Cutter is a Silhouette 7 ship. This is a Silhouette 6 entity.
Cool.
Big. Real big.
So
Entities don't normally get that big.
we'd have to move some things around on the Aeon Cutter if we wanted to take it with us.
We are
We
not
don't,
taking
and
it
we're
with
walking.
us.
Hypothetically,
Not taking it with us, we're
he
not
says,
touching it. We're
straggling
not
after the
even
others.
thinking about it.
Megafauna.
One of
and
us
you.
is thinking about it.
If we don't think about it, then how can we realize it's a bad idea?
Correct. The problem is you don't ever seem to think it's a bad idea.
Sometimes I do.
I like to think that sometime in the future, Crack will publish a book called Megafauna and You, and just like
Yeah.
Or perhaps more accurately, Megafauna and me, and it's just pictures of him running away.
Graz is ushering people forward.
That
Continue
Noriz
on.
has taken.
Notably, Crack, you did not see any sign of wreckage down there. It might have been underneath the creature. You don't know.
Okay.
It's
I will.
using
I
it
will
as
share that as well.
background.
But you continue on.
Yep.
Give me another survival check, Ilyana and Graz.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
Drop that difficulty down a bit.
Yep.
2 successes.
And
And a threat.
Same.
Okay. So you managed to. So we're going to shortcut some time. So does anybody any like specific moments anyone wants to do? Let me know. But aside from that, with the collective 4 successes between the two of you, you managed to with knowledge of sort of what the terrain is and what the wildlife tend to be like, especially during the day, you managed to navigate your way through the forest a little bit easier. And avoid some of the more hazardous threats.
Oh,
After
a specific question about. I'm sorry, John.
Go ahead.
If I may, a specific question about that. Was it asleep? So
It was.
The
It seems to be
inference would
asleep.
be that it was a nighttime, aka dark side predator.
It seemed to be asleep.
Okay.
There was no real, no further inference you could really make from it. Like you would have known if that thing had been wandering around at night.
God, I hope so.
There's,
It is.
It has a really high stealth check.
Got super high stealth.
like you're not paying attention, it's behind you. that's-
okay.
That's
It's a gargantuan Stark, is what it is.
it's a,
All you
Nope.
hear is a very gentle version of the Flintstones.
No,
There
it
it is.
followed me home.
it's just
One day people will know what that joke means when I run that game.
Eventually.
Anyways, the so yeah, the you managed to avoid lots of the natural fauna that would pose a threat and get to another one of these circles of force dampening within about 6 more hours of travel. So for you guys, you're all pretty much really tired now. The sun's still out, but you've been operating for about 16 hours at this point.
Uh-huh.
I think this is a place to rest now.
Yes. Pushing ourselves beyond our limits this early in the proceedings would probably not be the wisest, and I would like to rest this leg at some point.
So
Cross, when we start moving again, I'm sorry I didn't offer earlier. Is it still bothering you?
This one will take some healing. It's not inhibiting me now that the initial shock has worn off, but it's definitely present.
I can pull you in the toboggan. You don't have to walk on it. Perhaps that would be best. Save yourself for more strenuous activity.
I appreciate the offer, but I feel my eyes are better employed towards the front of the expedition rather than looking straight up towards the rear.
I mean, you could keep an eye out for those arboreal octopi.
What do you think I've been doing all day?
I mean, from a laying down position, it'd be easier to keep looking up.
I'll be fine. Just a bit of rest.
there are no structures in this particular circle. You feel the force dampening effect, and then you're in the circle. It's mostly just an open clearing.
Do we see more of the things?
Yeah, you can see. Knowing what to look for, you can see the little faint glow.
Okay.
Glowy lizards.
All right. Watches again.
I'll begin.
You should rest.
I'll be resting while I watch, and then I'll rest more afterward.
All right. We have an
I
odd
can
number.
keep my brother company, my sibling company.
Okay. We have an odd number of people.
I
You
can
want-
watch with
We do
Ileana
have a
and
number of
Corsair
odd people.
again.
Yes, it is true.
I can
Like
take
I
watch
did
by
last
myself.
time.
I don't mind.
Nope.
Do we want the full everyone taking watches, or one group of 3?
How
One
long
group
will we
of
stop?
3, probably.
2, 2, and 3 sounds fine.
So, Graz and Kitty, Avasia and Ilyana. Is that what you said?
Either Liana or Corsair or both.
3 of us. Then
Right.
split the other way.
I will go with Crack then. Good night.
All right.
I power down, little ping. Screensaver starts going.
All right. Yep. Yeah, you can make 1 check per week for a critical injury roll, so you can't try to help Graz with that injury again for a while.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I will need a full week of rest before I could make a resilience check on that, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so, yep.
Yeah.
That's just going to be there for a bit.
Sorry, I should have used it.
Fortunately, it doesn't have any
What's
negative
going on?
effects right now, which is really lucky.
Yes. Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. All right. So, is anything happening?
Hopefully I don't get another critical injury until I try and make my lightsaber, and then I'll get one from that.
You can all make those people who are on watch can make perception checks, difficulty 2.
Who's doing
Oh,
first
okay.
watch?
Wasn't it?
So
First watch is Graz and Kitty.
Second watch is Ilyana, Korsarath, and Avasia.
Yep.
Mm.
And then
Sure.
third watch is Nereus and Crack.
Mm-hmm.
3 successes, 1 threat.
All right. Is there anything that you two are doing while you're resting?
Graz would occasionally get up and walk around. If they find anything that looks useful, they'll bring it back to Kitty in case it's something that Kitty might be able to use when she's making stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Ugh. Kitty really wants to do that experiment, John, that we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with the fetish of fear.
Okay. Let me take a look at that.
I'm interested. Graz is interested then.
So I'll copy paste the vanilla fetish of fear into. Wait, no, I won't because those are on different computers.
I'm looking at it. Hang on.
Thanks, internet. Yeah, so it's a 300 credits one.
Okay. Do you have the materials for it?
I do because Crack saved me a lot of materials.
All right, so go ahead and
Yay.
make an average, so 2 difficulty, discipline, or lore check. For what you're trying to add into it, we're going to make it an extra difficulty. So actually, we're just going to upgrade the difficulty. So 2 difficulty upgraded once.
2 upgraded once or 3 difficulty?
2 upgraded once.
All right. I would like to spend a light side point on this because it's important.
Mm.
And that's going to be Bishop Fears 2 upgrade once.
What word were you? What word were you
Lord.
trying? What word were you trying to add to it? Do you remember?
Yeah, property.
Okay, cool. Yes, because you're trying to make a tracking thing, right?
Well, no, that was a different project.
Oh, okay.
This is just, does this modification do something to a known?
Got it. Got it.
Because
got it.
even if Kitty does not have one of these, I imagine it's something that she knows how to make
Yeah.
and is confident in the general result of.
Got it. So go ahead and make that roll.
Fuck.
All right. So, really quick,
A failure.
as I was waiting until this point to talk about it. So one of the things that we're adding in for my players and for the viewers, I'm working on rules about corruption and purification. These are things that are so imbued within the light and the dark side that they automatically adjust your morality up or down based on what it is. So Kitty, your morality goes down 10 points.
Okay.
As you attempt to carve a Sith rune into a relic while you're crafting it. You're not able to create the relic. You for whatever reason, this rune warps the Force as you are trying to craft this talisman. And after you get it put together and you're pretty certain it should hold, you let go and the component pieces just fall apart. As if there was nothing holding them together. And the one piece that you carved the rune into bursts into flame.
Everything all right over there?
Yeah, it didn't work. Maybe I need to try it at night. This planet could be interfering.
So, corruption and purity values are things that items, places, or actions that just have an inherent alignment with the dark or light side, and utilizing them for the first time or resting there for a period of time or whatever will modify your alignment. Things like there are purity waterfalls that Jedi use quite frequently, where they sort of like, they'll go face their inner demons, and if they win, then they're more attuned to the light side. Things like that, which will, no matter, they don't generate conflict, but they do adjust your morality. Because it's not a chance that you'll go up and down, it is a certainty that you'll go up or down with those. And things like using a Sith rune in your crafting.
Yeah.
Because Sith runes are so inherently tied to the dark side.
Yeah.
All right.
And I assume, so here's a question because I can't find it in the rules. If there's no failures and no successes, materials are consumed.
We'll say materials are not consumed.
Okay.
Except for that one piece, but that's not a credit value. That's just the one thing.
That is the part that bursts into flames.
Yes.
This is actually probably not the first time something Kitty has been brewing or making has exploded with no obvious cause.
Oh no, that happens a lot.
But, maybe it's slightly more sinister than usual.
This time, when it bursts into flame, it also laughs.
Or something laughs. Anyways, so
It's John.
anything... I laugh all the time. Anything else on the first watch?
I think that's good for Graz.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Second watch, Ilyana, Korsarath, and Avasia. You can give me perception checks, difficulty 2.
Sure. Why not? Successes, finally.
All right, and anything else the three of you are doing on your watch?
Probably since I didn't get a chance to do it because I was keeping an eye on Crack and trying to make sure Crack didn't walk off a cliff. Meditate to wipe out some of my massive.
Your strain will be completely gone after the night's rest.
Yes, I understand that, but our shift is not over yet.
Cool. Okay.
And who knows what kind of fucked up thing is going to leap in and try and murder us all.
They're going to give me a discipline check.
Also, why would I want to turn down the ability to fail some rolls?
Poor Ilyana.
Discipline check, and it is diff.
It's a. Did I have you got what? It's actually supposed to be a flat difficulty, no difficulty.
I think it's.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's just a roll. Yeah, it's supposed to be just a flat difficulty.
Okay.
Huh.
And you regain strain for every success.
Okay, so I got 1 back. And can I use 2 advantages to get rid of 2 more strain?
Not on this because it's very because there's no difficulty and it's
I'm just saying advantages. Oh yeah.
You can use them for other things. You can't use them for regaining strength.
I will give the person in the next turn a boost die. The turn ends.
All right.
I like that you almost said setback because I feel like with this group, it would depend who was next. That might be a choice you might make.
So, other than meditating for Ilyana, is there anything else Korsarath or Avasi are doing?
Korsarath just kind of sits down and focuses, kind of closing his eyes and thinking on the day's events.
Avasia will sit next to Korsarath. What did you see back there?
I saw Darth Zakant. I saw my mother.
Did she do or say anything, or was it just a momentary glance at her?
She just noticed me. Called me her pet, as she used to do.
Avasia will hug Korsarath. I wanted to apologize for agreeing that we should go into the fight.
You followed your instincts.
I thought with you being warned that you wouldn't get stabbed.
My perception is that that fate was sealed because by foreseeing it, they pushed themselves and the rest of the group to pursue it. I think had the group been of a different mind, it could have been walked away from.
I will consider that next time.
Yeah, you're generally aware of your surroundings, Jeremy.
Cool. She doesn't interject. I just wanted to know forever.
Yeah, no, you're just sort of. I imagine in this actually, particularly in Star Wars, meditating would be very much aware of your surroundings.
Yeah,
because
no, I assumed so. I just didn't want to assume.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You're taking in the Force in all the things around you, so you're particularly aware of your surroundings when meditating in Star Wars.
I tend to find that the acceptance that a prophecy will come to pass tends to make it self-fulfilling.
I don't have a lot of experience with prophecies. So.
Of course, Arath sits there subtweeting Ilyana.
I was gonna say, you're making my dedication harder.
I only got one.
Okay.
I like the image of this being the sort of
Can there
the
be
scene between the two of them.
while meditation is going on?
Yeah, you can talk while meditating.
And then the slow camera pan over to show Ilyana like 5 feet behind them.
She'll just quietly speak up, way calmer than she has been. Have you seen a lot of times where vision and prophecy has been avoided?
Unfortunately, most of the prophecies that have been dealt with in my time have been in legend and tale. My mother tended to aim to kill anyone who thought that they could use knowledge of the future against her. I don't know how much those prophecies helped them.
That's because prophecy isn't there to help you survive things. The things you see are usually, it's not a roadmap, it's not a set of instructions. It's glimpses into it's looking into a stream and being able to see further ahead than most. It doesn't mean that you can change the direction of the river.
The idea that something that can be glimpsed in the future is predetermined, I cannot accept.
Because you can't control it?
Because that would imply that my existence up until this point has been predestined. And I do not believe that anything that I have been was anything but the choice of a twisted mind. I will not take responsibility away from those who made me what I am by claiming it to be predestined.
Why do you think destiny takes responsibility away from people?
Because if it was always going to be, then why fight it?
That's not how it works. Destiny isn't the world deciding that you're going to do something, so you're going to do it. Destiny is you're making a choice that resonates into the Force, forward and backward. You're still responsible for all of your actions. And it's not it's not a destiny doesn't necessarily determine the course of your life. It just determines certain mile markers on the road. You're still in control as much as you want to be. It doesn't mean that the prophecy and these visions aren't gonna happen.
I think that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Second watch comes to an end. Third watch begins. Neries and Crack. Give me perception checks. Difficulty 2.
All right. And we have gotten our full rest, right? So
Yes.
no strain. Okay.
And everyone else, you can remove all the strain you have acquired. And heal 1 wound if anyone has wounds left.
Oh, zip. Nothing.
One of my 2 wounds, and all of my strain goes away.
Cool. I'm creeping towards healthy.
I mean, you can also use a stim pack if you like.
I don't think we have any.
Yeah, you've still got a couple.
Yes, I handed out a bunch.
Only 1's been used so far.
There's 3 more.
Did you give one to Crack?
I don't know if Crack took one. I can't remember. I think
I know
Avasia took one.
Avasia and Corserath both have one.
I don't
know
think
where
Crack
the
took
other
one.
is.
That's okay. I'm only at 3 wounds.
Graz had the third one, and
Yeah.
he used it.
There's a 4th one somewhere.
Kitty has it.
Kitty? Yeah.
Kitty? Okay, there we go.
So, anything interesting happening on your 2 watch? Your 2's watch. The watch that you 2 are on.
How does it feel, Nerys?
How does what feel?
Everything. Is it different here
Different than what?
than how it is on the Aeon Cutter for you?
Yes, there is a breeze.
That's fascinating. So, do you have senses or do you feel it in your bones? And I don't mean metaphorically.
I have I have sensors, but also I can feel it through the force. You have not told us about yourself at all.
That's right. So tell me one other question though. Do you think you were this deflective before you were turned into a droid?
I do not know. I do not remember anything from before I was a droid.
Nerys, we've known each other for some time at this point.
2 days.
No, we've known each other longer than that.
2 days.
You've been aware of each other longer than that, but known is a bit of a strong term.
Yeah.
I really appreciate how this is basically an emotional game of ping pong. Where just deflecting back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Nonstop.
I'm not particularly good at the portion of the discussion where you pretend you're not going to tell me, and then I pretend I understand that, and then I eventually ask you in a different way, and then you eventually tell me what you're going to tell me. So I'm just going to ask you, and I'm going to trust that you'll be straightforward with me. If I keep asking you questions, are you going to answer them eventually?
I answered about the breeze.
That's true. That's not what I ask you. You're doing the same thing again.
It is not.
Nereus has like 5 ranks in deflection.
Say in Tennis voice, and that's a volley back to the other side.
Shush. Possibly, but trust is a two between at least two individuals.
Also factually accurate.
Trust is a
Although
two-way
not
street,
always,
is the
because
sentence.
one person can always trust another and find
Yes.
later that that person has been lying to them.
Yes.
I can assure you that if you ask me questions, I will answer you truthfully.
Do you
Looks
have
like Agassi
family?
brought his A game today, Jerry.
Do you have family?
Yes.
And there's a lob back to Nerese.
How does it feel functionally different on this planet? Does your perception differ?
I try and figure that out. Does it feel different because I have twice the force?
Everything feels a bit more vivid.
Okay.
Like your senses extend to the shell that you're in.
Yep.
So it's like you don't function like a droid does, even though you have some functions that are droid. You function like the metal is your skin and your sensors are your eyes and ears, and so it's a little bit more natural than it is for other droids. But yeah, because like having access to that deeper well of the Force does make everything more vivid and more real and more tactile.
Everything is louder. You all breathe a lot.
We really do. I'm sorry, it's your turn.
Yes, thank you. How did you come to decide to come to the Aeon Cutter?
I really liked the engines. It was on port in orbit around Mon Calamari, and I had gone up from the mines to potentially pursue employment in the starport because I had an interest in engines. I had fixed everything in my mine where I had grown up, and had moved on to see if there was anything to fix in the starport, and there were. And then the Aeon Cutter landed, and I went on board to look at the engines, and I found them very fascinating. And unfortunately, was still looking at them when the Aeon Cutter had started moving again.
I would like to insight check that. I know that's not a thing, but
it'll be a cool check.
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
Okay.
Versus. That's mostly correct. If there's anything if you're trying to intentionally leave things out, crack, it's going to be a coercion check.
I am very cool. 3 successes.
But if not, then I mean, the things that Crack said are factually correct.
Okay. Does it seem like he's deflecting it all again?
Not intentionally.
Okay.
There are aspects. There are definitely more aspects to that story than Crack has presented. But what Crack has presented is the truth.
Okay. And then just for me, is there anything that Nerese would know about Mon Calamari where
you were already on board when Crack came on. You're thinking back and you do recall that the Aeon Cutter had been docked at Mon Calamari prior to the treaty being signed.
Okay.
And there was an attack from the Sith Empire basically attacked, and they sort of legged it real fucking quick. And presumably that's where Crack got on.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Continue.
No, he's done.
Okay, I thought Crack was going to ask another question.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. No, he's done with that portion of the question.
Yep. I see.
Do you perceive solely through your ocular senses, or is there a sense of vision through the Force?
Primarily through my sensors.
But not solely.
I do not have a lot of practice using the force externally.
What if you deactivate your ocular senses?
That is not wise. I will run into things.
What if you did it while standing still?
That's called sleep mode.
Crack is trying to suggest, and I'm probably using the wrong words. Crack is trying to suggest whatever the droid equivalent of closing your eyes would be.
Yeah. Will you do anything while my eyes are closed?
Do you want me to?
No.
That just
Then
got
no.
creepy.
I'm just saying, I've been listening to a lot of Crime Junkie podcasts, and I'm having some issues right now.
That was like teenage boy and like significant other on second date. Like do you want me to? What?
How about you deactivate your ocular senses and I hold up a certain number of tentacles, and you see if you can perceive how many.
I've seen this anime before.
I was gonna say, not better.
God damn it. I will try.
Okay.
I don't have the.
Do you have any isolated like force powers at the moment?
No, I just have move.
Just roll 2 force die.
Okay. 2. Nope. There you go.
Am I able to visually confirm if the ocular sensors are off? Like, do they?
The light dim.
Did it not?
Okay.
It didn't roll. Why didn't it roll? 2 up
Roll 20
there,
seems to have been
right?
having a couple of issues. There you go.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you rolled 2 light, 2 dark. You can use those two. So with those 2 light side, yeah, you can sort of, with your ocular sensors off, you can sort of make out not specifics, but the vague shape of a crack in front of you.
Okay. I can't tell like tentacles.
You can tell that tentacles are up.
You have them up.
You can tell that. How many tentacles are you holding up, Crack?
2.
You can tell he has less of them up than down.
Not 1 or 2. How many tentacles does Crack have?
I think it's 6 face tentacles.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Let me look at my picture.
Possibly 3 if you are holding them close together.
Yeah, there are 4 big ones and 2 little ones.
Okay.
And a tongue, but which I think is just out all the time on Quarren, which is wild.
I think that's actually their beak. I don't think that's a tongue. I think that's their beak.
It's a beak.
No, because there are teeth. There's teeth, and then the thing. Anyway,
some number of tentacles.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So. Yeah. So 1 or 2. That's partially correct. What are you guessing?
I was making and I turned my sensors back on. 2. I was making deductions based on what I could see. It was not clear.
But that's incredible. Do you still... your turn. And he sits and waits.
You want to be a knight.
I suppose.
And do what?
Improve things. I get more access to the archives on the Aeon Cutter if I become a knight. I would like to access the remainder of the archives.
I see. Your turn.
Do you have perceptions when you are powered down or in repair mode? Essentially, do you still remain cognizant of your surroundings, or if not that, and I apologize for an incredibly inaccurate term, but it's the best analog of which I can, the best analog I can use at the moment. Do you dream?
Good question.
Yes,
Do
you
I?
dream. You have had many dreams, in fact, if you recall.
Yes, that's true.
And are they electric sheep?
Mm,
Oh, they're a dude in a mask.
Decidedly not electric sheep.
yeah.
Yes,
But do I have like any sense of like what's going on outside of me?
vaguely, but about
Vaguely.
like less than you would right then when you're focusing.
Okay.
You have you still sleep, and you still have
Mm.
that vague awareness that people have when they sleep.
Okay. Yep.
Like we're all aware if we're about to fall off a cliff when we're asleep, even though we're asleep.
I mean, I've fallen out of a bed once, fully asleep. So.
Did you wake up when you hit the ground?
No, I woke up as I was falling.
I've fallen from a top floor bunk bed
Yeah,
and not woken up.
Yeah, I also punched a wall once. It was.
That is
Sleep fighting is a thing.
that is not the most common reaction to falling. Typically, you wake up just before or during the fall. But
I'm aware. No, I did get woken up after when people rushed in the room and were like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" and shook me awake.
Yeah.
Fair. Anyway, somewhat, but it is not clear. I do dream. I do not enjoy dreaming.
And a lore question, I think I know the answer to, but droids don't dream, right?
No,
they don't do anything.
Normal
equivalent
droids
to
do
dreaming.
not dream. No.
Okay.
Because they are the saddest life form in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, they can feel pain. They can feel pain. I hate that. It always makes me angry.
Some of them can feel pain. Yes.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
Battle droids were programmed to feel pain, which makes me angry.
But
So angry.
Were programmed really, really sadistically, like by someone who was really trying hard to do the worst job possible.
Yeah, I would argue it's not so much sadistically as incompetently, because you don't want your thing that's running out into battle to feel something that would discourage it from continuing the battle.
You also want it to understand how to use the buttons that operate your tank, but they don't.
They're also able to feel fear.
What we're saying is battle droids are not the best built thing in the universe.
It just seems like fear and pain are like you have to work harder to enable those things.
Yes.
So
I'm getting us off track, and I apologize, but
in terms of how
we're already off track.
Anakin could do it.
Anyways,
I mean, I helped shove us. So I helped shove us in that direction off track, and I do not apologize.
Fair.
I mean, Biggs and Wedge feel pain, but that's because they want to.
Wow. Okay, that's a whole other programming question, John.
They're combat. Yes, you can program kinks into a droid. I've already determined this.
Your turn, Maurice.
Oh God, not what I wanted to hear.
You were the fucking worst.
Or the best.
No.
Pain is important to recognizing you're in peril.
Your turn, Maurice.
What do you wish I would know about you?
He thinks for a moment about that. And says, that I'm not ignorant of danger, although I sometimes do intentionally choose to ignore it.
All right. I believe this makes us even.
I have 2 more that I could condense into a single one.
All right, I will hear your question.
You're getting ready for the spike.
Following up on what I asked you back before we landed on this planet, do you know what you want to do next? And how can I help?
I want to.
As you get to that point in the sentence,
Yeah.
your vision is covered in Sith runes.
Ah, shit.
And that's 15 love, Alex.
That means.
And Crack, Neres' faceplate turns red.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a problem.
Did I see this last time?
No,
I
no
don't
one
think
saw
I
this.
did.
No one was around
Okay.
last time this happened.
Okay.
And Neres, again, the runes break open, and
Yep.
you have this vision. And it's not the person in the mask.
Hmm.
It's a mirror.
Okay.
And there is a pale-skinned humanoid looking at you. Sort of like pulling down one eyelid. And is sort of sniffing. Just sort of going about some sort of basic maintenance in the mirror. And you notice a series of Sith runes carved as raised scars across the forehead and down one side of the face. And then as they pull back away from the mirror, the runes close and your vision returns back to normal.
Does it count as another question if I ask you if you're all right?
That. What happened?
Your facial projection turned entirely red? Was there anything else about it that
Nope.
Crack
And
perceived?
now
Okay.
it's back to normal.
And then it returned to normal. Also, you stopped answering my question.
I want to. I'm testing to see if it's gonna happen again. Want to not have that keep happening.
How can I help? Can we run a system diagnostic to see what may have happened?
What will you need to do that?
John, I would assume I would need
just
access to the data core. And...
Yeah, you just need to hook into the data core.
Okay. I just would need to attach my datapad to your access port and God, this is sounding like a date. And
I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to.
That was literally going to be Graz's comment of, I woke up a little early and I think I accidentally eavesdropped on Crack and Neres' first date.
and download the recent reports so we can analyze any irregularities. Certainly, I would do that in full so that you can see the reports as they are coming in. And if you wish for me to stop analyzing them, if you see anything that appears that is not to your liking, I will turn the datapad over to you.
Do I know, like, is that pretty easy to do?
Yeah.
I think what I'm imagining at least would be
it's
for
like
a regular droid, it's like a
Yeah.
standard checkup.
The port is like, it's basically your port is inside the chest cavity. It's just like
Okay.
you open it up, plug in.
Okay. God damn it. Yes.
All
I do say the god damn it
right.
out loud.
Crack pulls out a datapad. And
There are no visible bones on the inside of the chest cavity.
He's looking around though.
It's not. They aren't just like ribs hanging in there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I want you to appreciate with the amount of unintentional innuendo that's been thrown around in this conversation, how I didn't make a joke about bones lying around.
Right.
Happy for you.
You just
I actually don't have bones. I have a series of fluid-filled bladders.
Anyways,
There
you hook in.
But
You hook
okay,
in
so-
and run a diagnostic.
Yeah.
So first thing you notice on this, you don't have to make a roll for this. This is easy. This is easy enough to do. You notice that the diagnostics coming out of Neres' chassis are not normal diagnostic information. Normally, a droid's diagnostic logs include like the code for them moving around and a whole bunch of things. This is a relatively empty diagnostic log because there's no automated process to Neres moving around. Mostly what this logs are information that Neres consciously wants to record.
Okay.
So
I will share that with Nerys that this is
Yeah.
how it's different, just in case.
So
Nerys
the
is not
only
aware of
thing that you're getting out of this diagnostic are any messages Neres has previously recorded.
Oh, okay.
There is no the droid does not list normal routine movement or anything like that in its logs.
So you get like recording made, recording deleted.
Yeah, things like that.
Is there anything related to the vision that just happened?
Nothing.
Okay. Is this more similar? What I'm seeing is this more in line with what I might see if I ran a diagnostic on a prosthetic limb?
No.
Okay.
This is like nothing you would have ever run a diagnostic on before.
So
Because most things that are mechanical that have a computer recording information record literally everything, and you have to parse through that to find the details you want.
Okay.
This only records that Neres recorded a thing, that Neres projected a thing, that Neres deleted the thing.
Okay.
Like,
I would, I guess, then like to make a roll to see what I can make of that, because when I'm
Sure.
out of character, not as a Star Wars mechanic or indeed any kind of
give me a
mechanic,
mechanics roll.
that seems to me that it would mean that this isn't even actually a droid. It's
Yeah,
just,
give me two difficulty mechanics check.
okay. Definitely
And
just randomly raise my
Nerys
encumbrance.
Is
ahead.
trying to go over what they saw before,
Use the light side point.
trying to figure out anything I could pick up besides the rune stuff. I wouldn't be able to translate it, but like if that felt like me,
So
what I might have been.
You were definitely that was definitely from the perspective of that person.
Yep.
Previously, your perspective has always been from somebody underneath the other figure. This was definitely, you were looking through that person's eyes.
Yep.
You couldn't get any more details about the room or anything. It was just the self was all you were able to see.
Yep.
For the mechanics,
What species?
human.
Okay.
Human, pale skin. You weren't able to determine a gender.
Mm-hmm.
Just human, pale skin, dark hair, scars.
Okay.
Crack with 3 successes. So what this means is that Neres is entirely operated off of by the Force.
Okay.
There is no actual aside from you'll also get logs for like discharge, like weapon discharges and times and dates, because those are mechanical. So like you get the information from the combat of the discharging weapons and things.
Okay.
What this means is that Neres uses the Force for basically everything.
Okay.
Moving around, shooting, aiming, recording, and the only things that are left behind, the only mechanical level things that are happening here are the more specific droid things, recording, using an integrated gun, things like that.
The binoculars.
The binoculars.
To use a Star Wars example that I don't know if it was around in the old Jedi era or Old Republic era, like Bomar monks, the sort of brains in a jar or spider monks, that is entirely cybernetic, right?
Correct.
That's not So that even that would be entirely different. Than
Even
this.
that would have would have some sort of mechanical logs.
Okay.
That
All
happen.
right.
Whereas
So
this is nothing mechanically is going on here.
Okay. Crack looks up at Nerys and says, do you understand what this implies?
No.
It means you're not a droid. Whatever it is and however you interact with this, and he will reach out and kind of clank on one of the legs. Well, yeah, unless Nerys moves the leg as he's reaching, in which case he'll stop.
No.
Okay.
I just react when you touch it.
Okay. You're not controlling that with any kind of internal circuitry. That seems to be through something other than what I would expect, either through cybernetics or any kind of droid or robotic mechanism. You seem to be controlling whatever this body is entirely through the Force.
No, but I was programmed to do a thing. I learned from my surroundings, and I have a mechanical body.
You do have a mechanical body in that it is made of simple machines such as hinges and other rotators that will work. But you, Nerys, you are not programmed to do anything because you do not have anything inside you capable of receiving programming.
I mean, other than their mind.
Right, but
yeah.
I get that, but this is how Crack would express that concept.
Mm-hmm. Please stop.
Okay. Crack unplugs the datapad.
I close. Back up.
You put your top back on. I didn't start this.
I'm not even trying this time. Okay.
I mean, you say that, but I'm not sure I believe you. It's just
And as this various series of revelations comes to a close, that's where we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.